Right, guys, before we get started, just remember you're probably going to have a load of time on your hand over these next few weeks, depending what happens. So not only listening to I Had Trials Once podcast, get yourself onto The Athletic, and if you join today, you can get a 7-day free trial plus 50% off your subscription if you like the look of it. And they've got some good stories in there. It'll keep you entertained and informed over the next few weeks.
Yeah, so that is theathletic.co.uk/I Had Trials Once.
Cheers, Jordan. Right. Obviously, if you want to stay in and you need beers delivering to your front door rather than going out and getting them yourself.
Well, you can't go out, so...
Well, actually, yeah. Well, who knows when we'll next be able to go to the pub and have a beer with our mates. But, Jordan, our pals at Beer 52 can deliver beer straight to your doorstep.
I can't believe I didn't even think of it myself. What do you get? 10 beers and a snack?
I think so, yeah. I don't know. What's the link?
It is beer52.com/trials, and you get $24.95's worth of beer for the postage and packaging.
And you get a snack with that as well. Like a little, pretzels and nuts and
what
stuff.
What did I get last time?
Little bag of olives.
No, I got dried peas, and they were actually quite nice.
Were they?
Yeah.
Dried peas.
Chili dried peas.
Ah.
So if you want them delivering.
Yeah, remember the link. It is beer52.com/trials, where you can literally get beer delivered to your doorstep. Do you ever look back now and think, well, you must do, because like even I'm thinking it now, do you not wish you had that dedication as a footballer, because you'd be a millionaire. You'd have earned 10 times as much as you would have done as a boxer.
Yeah.
But obviously you didn't have that love inside you.
Yeah, I mean, I've analysed myself more times than anyone. Yeah. And I think the kind of results that I've come to is it wouldn't have mattered what I'd have done as a young kid. It'd have ended up in
so even if you'd been a boxer to start off with, because
it'd have been disaster.
Yeah,
might have been dead. Because I'd have been drinking in between camps and everything. It's a dangerous sport to be in. It wouldn't have mattered because, like I said, I didn't kind of mature till I was probably 27, 28. You know, I wouldn't have been able to do anything as a young kid. I just wasn't ready for it. You know, and I think probably my background and things like that probably delayed me a little bit. But ultimately, you know, you make your own choices in life. And, you know, I made loads of wrong ones at a young age. So it wouldn't have mattered. People say, you know, if you had a different manager, it wouldn't have mattered if I had Alex Ferguson. Wouldn't have mattered. I was kind of on the path to destruction. I don't think anyone could have stopped it. It was inevitable, really.
But we have so many guests on who get to that stage and go down a totally different road. So they go into alcoholism, gambling. Yeah. You know, you didn't. You unbelievably, you went into another professional sport and became a, like I say, British champion.
I think a lot of that's luck.
That's credit to you as well, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's like I said. I could have done anything. Something grabbed hold of me at that time. It could have been anything. You know, if it had been a bad influence, I might have gone that way. But fortunately for me, I had Gary DeRue, you know, who showed me that boxing way. And because
still good mates with Gary now.
I haven't spoke to Gaz in a while. No,
no,
it'd be nice to catch up with him again.
Maybe he's listening.
Yeah, I hope he is.
That'd be good.
But yeah, if it hadn't been for him, I got no idea what I'd have done.
Wait a minute.
Probably end up in prison.
What a guy.
Let's have got a couple of decent questions here. So tell us, because I didn't hear about you for ages, and then you was all over the news.
Sky Sports.
I mean, I'm talking years ago. And then you hunted down a Twitter troll. I thought this was brilliant because we've all had it where you've posted something or something's come up and you've got abuse from someone.
Yeah.
And I know if I was in your shoes, the first thing I would have done is looked who the guy was who was giving me abuse, checked him out, and only if I thought I was harder than him
that's the thing, isn't it?
would I have answered back and gone knocking on his door.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem. I think I'm harder than everyone, so that's my problem. But this had been going on for a while. This guy had been abusing me for ages. Just what I'd call like kind of the normal stuff that a professional sportsman has to come up with. Oh, you crap, blah, 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 da-da-da. Shit boxers, shit football, all that stuff. I'd heard that millions of times. And this was after I'd just lost my English title. Who did I lose my English title to? I lost my English title to a guy called Shane Singleton, and I was robbed. Should never have lost it. And I I woke up the next day and this guy who'd been getting on my nerves for ages put something like, you can't even defend your English title, you crap, da-da-da-da. So I was like, well, I can't be arsed with this. And then the next day, I think I put a post out saying, just done the school run, got the rest of the day to myself, might go for a few beers or something like that, something quite mundane. So he sent a tweet saying, you want to be careful where you drop your kids off. You never know who's watching. You never know who's watching them. So I thought,
That's just weird.
So this is the same guy who's been at me for a while. A couple of days earlier, I'd lost my English title, so I'm not happy. I'm not an happy bunny as it is.
You got a day off as well?
I've got a day off, so I'm thinking, you know what? Today's the day. So I sent him one back saying, you want to be careful who you tweet. You never know who might turn up at your doorstep. So he said, turn up at my doorstep, you'll get chinned. So I said, all right, well, let's find out then. So I put on my Twitter. At this point, I had a different Twitter account. I had like 80,000 followers on there. So I put on there, I'll give anyone £1,000 that can tell me the address of, and then tagged him in it.
So he knew he was tagged in it?
Yeah, he knows he's tagged in it.
He's panicking this thing.
No, he's bringing it on at this point.
Is there?
He's like, yeah, no problems, come to my house, see what happens. You're going to get filled in. So I was like, well, I'm coming anyway. If I find out, I'm coming. 2 minutes later, I get a direct message. It said, my nickname used to be Wiggy. You used to have a big afro. So
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I thought, that's not him.
Yeah, so someone sent me a message saying, Wiggy, you're not going to believe this. I fucking know who this lad is. So I says, really? He says, yeah. So he sent me what football team he plays for. He sent me their fixtures, and he sent me his full name and his address. So I put it in my sat nav, and it came up. I was 47 minutes away. Oh. So I've got a day off. So I said it. So I sent him one. I think his name was Jimmy. His Twitter name was Jimmy, something like that. So I sent him one. I tagged him in it, and with his name and his address, and a picture of my sat nav, which said how far I was. So I said, put kettle on, I'll be 47 minutes. So at this point, he started having a wobble up there, hadn't he? So he sat, and it wasn't like he had one of them bogus accounts. It's not his real.
Right,
you know what I mean? I think he like had a blue egg. He didn't even have a picture on or anything.
Right.
So he must have thought, how has he found out who it is? So at this point, I think then Joey Barton retweeted it, who's got like 3 million followers. Lennox Lewis then retweeted it. John Prescott put, this is how we deal with shit in Hull. You know, the politician. Yeah. So everyone's got on top of it and everyone's going on it. So I thought...
Why has he stayed in his house?
I have no idea.
You'd be out, wouldn't you? You'd be out there.
Yeah. Well, he must have fancied his chances, I don't know. So at this point, I'm away. I'm on the motorway. I'm off to go and see him.
Are you on your own?
Yeah, I'm on my own, yeah. Yeah, so...
What was your intention? Was you going to...
I was going to chin him, yeah.
You were just going to chin him when he answered the door or something?
Yeah, I was fuming. But by the time I'd spent 10 minutes in the car, my phone at this point was going mad.
Yeah.
Saying, listen, you've got there's 70,000 witnesses to you assaulting somebody here. So you're going to, by this time I'd calmed down, but I thought, well, I'm on my way anyway, so I'm going.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really going to do anything. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to watch him.
Shit him up a bit.
Shit himself, yeah. And that's how it all came about, really. The day after, I get a phone call off Lorraine Kelly.
What happened when you got to his door, though?
So I got to his door, and I had a sponsored car at the time, so I had my name all over the side of it, and it's like a cul-de-sac. You go in, there's one way in and one way out, and I was just paroling around. But my mate wouldn't tell me what number he lived at. He says, I'm going to be accessory to murder if you chin me. So he says, don't do anything. So I said, I'm not. I'm calmed down. I got to the top of his street and took a picture, and then posted it within minutes. He obviously knew I was there. And it kind of died down a little bit. And then the day after, I get a phone call off Lorraine Kelly. So she said, do you want to come on, I think it was GMTV that she's on. So I'm like, yeah, I think they paid me $3,000 to go on. So I'm like, I'm here.
Okay. Better than a fight.
Fucking bit more than what you lot are paying me. But I got down there, I was on the breakfast show. And she came in at about 7 a.m. and said, oh, Curtis, we just want to let you know that we've got James in the studio. So I'm like, right, okay. And she says, we just want to know that you're not gonna assault him. So I said, well, it depends.
Depends what he says.
Yeah, depends what he says. He says if he calls it on, I said it's on.
At the time though, like the day before, had you gone to his door?
Yeah. So I've been on his estate, but I've never seen him.
At his
I've
door,
got no idea what he looks like.
Right, okay.
No idea. So at this point, I'm thinking, a bit nervous here. He's turned up. He must fancy himself.
Imagine like an 18-stone skinhead.
Yeah. Been a bit worrying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was about 16 stone at the time, though. but yeah, I'll never forget. She said to me, "I just want to let you know that this isn't Jeremy Kyle. We haven't got any security." So I said, "Well, if he starts chatting, then it's on. So simple as that." So she said, well, and so she ran out, went to speak to him, came back. She's like, he just wants to apologise. I said, yeah, no problems. So at this point, I'm sat down on the settee, still haven't seen the guy. So I'm thinking to myself, here we go, getting a bit like EBGBs. So he's walked out. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never seen him.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a dweeb.
He just looks like he's not got a fight in him or whatever. Yeah. And he's a bag of nerves when he's come out and he's shitting himself. And it did make me feel a bit bad, really. But then when he went through his account, he'd been abusing like Jordan's, Katie Price's son, Harvey. He was just one of them people. He abused everyone. You know what I mean?
Troll,
yeah, that in real life. But
no, he shit himself.
Doing,
he shit himself. But that was kind of the moral of the story, is when everyone chats tough online, don't they? Yeah. Because they don't think there's going to be any repercussions. But yeah.
I always say, if you're online like that, and if you've got something to say, if you'd say it to the face in a pub, then you can say it online. And and you believe in what you're saying, you can back it up. Don't ever say something that, like you say, when it was face to face.
When you're on GMTV,
But that's a problem nowadays. It's so easy just to type something in and think there's no repercussions.
Yeah, it's mad, really.
It's a quality story.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Lorraine Kelly in the middle of it all as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to see me growler?
Do you know what? I remember when I first met her, like in the flesh. I remember she smelled really good. She had great perfume. She was really pretty as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she surprised me actually. Obviously, you see her on telly. When you see her in the flesh, I thought, "Poh, she's a bit of alright." You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I'd gone up the night before as well, so I was hungover. I stunk of booze. I've been out all night. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hangover horn.
Yeah.
We all know.
Shall we give Lorraine one?
We all know.
Right, I think we should get back to your footy career, if that's alright.
Yeah.
And a few stories from
Fire away, yeah.
From like, I don't know, off the pitch, on the pitch, which is one of your best.
Who were your best mate in footy?
You know, it's open in football. You don't really have mates. You just pass. You like ships in the night, aren't you? You just pass. But you know, every club I played at, whenever there was kind of the drinking school, I was always bang in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You know, we had some great characters at Sheffield United. When I look through that squad, some great lads in there. You know, and we all used to go out all the time. One of the first nights I ever went out in the lead mill, when I had when I just scored the goal and everyone was kind of celebrating. This girl came up to me and she was not the best. She was not the best at all. She was a big one, but you know, and
she's a two-man job.
Yeah. I remember she had a chain on with a Sheffield United like emblem round. So she was chatting me up, and the lads were coming up to me like, "Oh no, you can't. Tell me you're not." And I was like, "I think it's happening, lads." I think it's happening. So I ended up going back to hers. And I was out with probably about 16 of us. And they're all taking the piss of me out. Look at he's taking air over her shoulder. There we go. So I've got into her bedroom and she had a massive Sheffield United poster above her wall. One of them like...
The squad photo.
Squad photo, yeah.
She had crossed off the faces.
Yeah.
No, come on.
I swear to God. Circle and a cross over some of their heads. And so I've gone to...
That was a joke as well.
I better not say her name. Probably be listening. And I said, "What's all that about?" She said, "Oh, the ones with the circle over her head, I've given them." Can I say it?
Yeah.
I've performed a sexual act on them.
You give them a blower.
Yeah. And the ones with the cross have
gone all the way.
Yeah, gone all the way. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm looking at this. I swear to God, 30-man squad, 25 of them had something over their head. And half of them had been in the nightclub with 10 minutes before. They were saying, "You can't go home with her." And I'm looking at it thinking, "You sneaky bastards, you've already been here."
So looking at that squad, did that make a decision thinking, "Ooh, I'm just gonna get a circle on my head tonight"?
Yeah, well, whoever went back a couple of weeks after had seen that I had a circle and a fucking crossover. But yeah, that was kind of my introduction to like women really, and how easy really it was as a footballer to
get laid,
I suppose.
That's
brilliant.
Yeah,
that was kind of the beginning of the end for me really.
That's when it went downhill.
Yeah.
What do you think about Sheffield United now then? How they're doing, obviously this season?
I mean, it's unbelievable really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is unbelievable. And you look at the journey that Chris Wilder's been on as a manager. You know, he started at the lower levels and kind of built himself up, and he's doing an unbelievable job. Frightening really, you know, with what they're spending, the style of football they're playing. They're not kind of one of them teams that have kind of come up and thought, right, just shell it, second balls and get some set pieces and we'll try and stay up. He's kind of...
it's been brave, haven't they?
Very good.
Yeah, he's
Very
revolutionised the whole football club, really. It's amazing what one... I'm not saying he's done it on his own, but how one man can change the fortunes of a
What was your manager like there, Warnock? Because like the videos that you see of him,
that's how he is.
He's very funny.
That's how he is. He's very, he's
a man manager rather than a coach.
I wouldn't let him coach my under-12s team.
No, I've heard that.
I wouldn't let him put a session on. He'd fucking mess it up. He can't coach. That's not him. But he's a manager. He's good with people. And he sold me actually to Birmingham City.
I've been told about stories, I don't know if it's true, but if you didn't want to play in a reserve game, you had to go and see him and pay some money, didn't you?
Allegedly,
yeah.
yeah.
Put 100 quid on my desk and you don't need to play that reserve game on.
We used to put a squad up, so if you played on the Saturday, I think the reserves played on the Tuesday. So unless you played 90 minutes for the first team on Saturday, you were in that reserve squad. And he knew. The squad was like 30 man deep. So he knew a good 20 on them didn't want to play in the reserves. So if you didn't want to play in the reserves, you had to
go and see
tax.
the boss. Pay tax on it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's funny, 'cause he never seems to like... Have you seen the one where it's like Pep versus Finger?
Yeah.
But he's so funny on it. He's actually like...
Yeah.
The guy says
he's done brilliant. He's had a brilliant career, hasn't he?
I won't shake the hand, I got shit on my hand. She says, yeah, I'm shaking your fucking hand. I'm like...
He's had an unbelievable career. He's done well everywhere he's been, and I remember him sitting me down at one point. And when he was at the club, I was probably at my worst. I remember sitting me down one time and said, "If you carry on the way you're going," he says, "you'll be out the game at 25." He said, "No one's going to touch you with a barge pole because," he said, "you're just unmanageable." He said, I don't know what we can do with you." I made it to 26.
So you proved him wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck does he know?
Were you there similar time to Danny Webber?
I think Webbs had just come after I just left. I was there with Michael Brown. God, who else was there? Nick Montgomery, Michael Tong.
Yeah.
I was in digs with Phil Jadielka. Yeah, there's some really good players. Yeah.
Did you see Phil going on to where he?
When he first came, he came as a midfielder.
Right. Okay.
Jags. The first time I ever met Jags, he was a first year apprentice and I was a second year apprentice. We're in the same digs, so we obviously went to pick him up from the train station. In this like van that we had and introduced ourselves to everyone. I remember saying to Jack, "What position do you play?" And he said, centre midfield.
He's never said a centre mid.
And I was like, fuck, I don't need any midfielders here. I'm the best one at the club. 100 caps later for England, Jackson. You know what I mean? But no, I didn't see it when he first came. He was okay, but he wasn't one that stood out until he kind of moved. I think he went to right back first, good defender. Then when he went to centre half, it was like, oh yeah, because he had the ability of a midfielder on the ball. He wasn't really quick, but I've never seen Jags get run because positionally he was great and he was quick enough, strong, good in the air. But yeah, when he first came, I didn't see it as a midfielder going on to have the career he had. But it was one of them. As soon as he had that position change, you're like, yeah, this kid's not bad.
Who were your squad members for the England?
Jamie Carragher was in there. Yeah, I don't mean it's any disrespectful way at all, but I didn't see him going on to have. He's probably similar. Jamie Carragher is to what my boxing career was. Whereas when it's all over and done with, I sit back in my boxing career and think, I got every ounce out of myself then. I couldn't have been a world champion because I wasn't good enough. Yeah. But if I was good enough, I'd have got there. And I think Jamie Carragher's one of them. He's got every ounce out of what he had. He wasn't really big for a centre half. He wasn't really quick. He wasn't really good on the ball. But somehow managed to play all them games and win all them medals. For Liverpool.
That's a mentality thing.
Yeah. Even I remember, when I think it was England under 18s that I played with him. As soon as you were there, you knew he was an instant leader in training, organising. You know, he was on it on the front foot. I think he was a midfielder at that point.
Right.
Kind of got around and put tackles in and things like that. But on the ball,
it must have been good, like to be chosen for England under 18s.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, looking back, but at that point. That's just part of my progression because at that point, I think I'm going to go
miles above him.
18s, 21s, full international, play for Liverpool. Yeah. I didn't see anything else happening at that point. At this point, I'm
You must have been very good then. I didn't know.
Coming through, I played for England 16s, 18s, 21s. So I kind of come through the whole way really. So I just kind of felt like that was the next step in my progression.
Yeah.
Played some great players. I tell you, who was good. Jody Morris, great player.
Yeah.
Great player as a young player. Joe Cole was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was like kind of Lionel Messi as a young player.
He was on like a programme, Joe Cole, wasn't he, about up and coming youngsters?
Yeah.
Him and like
Carragher.
was it not Dyer?
No, not Carragher. Man United.
Routledge. He was on it.
Oh no, I'm thinking about. Oh my God, I can't remember his name now. Man United midfielder, really tall.
McTominay.
No, years ago. He's retired now.
Oh,
Carrick.
When is it Carrick?
I played against him when he was at West Ham.
Yeah, there was
Class.
Brilliant, weren't he?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
He was good as well. I know we spoke about him earlier. Leon Knight.
Yeah.
When we were young, he was like going to be the next Ian Wright, great finisher. But you see it all the time, see it in boxing as well. Players that are good at 16, 17, 18. You look up at 25 and think, bloody hell, what's happened to them?
Yeah.
Some people, like I said, everyone matures at different rates. Yeah. And played with some great players. Paul Robinson was in goal. Richard Creswell was in that squad. Lee Morris, who I did my apprenticeship with. Seth Johnson was there. Some good players that all had good careers. Yeah. Then there's fucking me.
How close were you to signing for Rangers?
Really close, yeah. I went up and we'd done all the.
Where was you at the time?
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. As a youngster, 20.
Yeah, I think I was 18.
Right, bloody hell.
Yeah, they just sold Paul Gascoigne. It was that season after that, and I'd gone up there. I'd sorted all the paperwork out and everything. It was, as far as I was aware, it was a done deal. I think it was £4 million. Dick Advocate.
Can you imagine that? £4 million as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, it was done. I remember I was on the back of the Sun in Scotland, sat next to the Glasgow Rangers chairman. I think we watched a Motherwell game, and they won the league that day, and they're parading the cup around. And on the back of the Sun, it was Kurt caught in the act. So Glasgow Rangers signed Curtis Woodhouse £4 million from Sheffield United. So it was done.
And what happened?
We ended up going out on Saturday night.
Jesus.
It cost me a fortune this night out, did. But it ended up just going mental. I think I ran up like a £5 bar bill in the hotel. They took me to this nightclub. And
as an 18-year-old?
Yeah.
This is in Scotland.
Who's took you out in?
A couple of agents.
In Scotland.
And a couple of people that were meant to be looking after me while I was up there. I remember they took me to like this Versace shop and they said, get whatever you want and all that lot. And it was like just mind blowing. And they said, you fancy a few beers tonight, like to celebrate. I'm like, yeah, why not? And we ended up, it just went mental. Ended up on like a crazy party. Not sure that was the reason, but when I woke up the next day, I had a massive bar. I said, I'm not paying that. And then I kind of left. And then 2 days later, I got a phone call saying the deal's falling apart. I think Dick Advocate was very, what's the word I'm looking for? He was quite a strict person. Yeah. And I don't think
didn't see you fitting in.
Yeah, I don't think I left a very good impression. Which looking back now, I'm gutted about. I'd have loved to have played up there.
Yeah.
I think it has suited me so much. I take full responsibility for it, but I believe I should have been guided a hell of a lot better as well.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Should have been back on a train, going home.
Yeah, job done.
Yeah.
Packing your stuff up.
But that's probably one of my biggest regrets. But from Sheffield United, I left, went to Birmingham City, met my wife, had our children.
Exactly.
So it's like a sliding doors moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? But I look back at Glasgow Rangers, I'd love to have played for them.
Yeah.
Love to have played. When I went to the game, the atmosphere was unbelievable. And at that point, I'm still 100% dedicated to football. There's I'm on it at that point, training like a madman. I'm on it. I want to play for England. And if I'd have gone to Glasgow Rangers, I might have ended up progressing. Look at some of the great players there. I think Laudrup was there, and that could have taken me on to that next level. But you look back all the time, you end up doing your own heading, don't you? It is what it is.
The thing is, though, like you'd never had the boxing career either.
No.
You you might never met your wife, had your kids, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and there's loads of things I wish I'd have done differently in football, loads. But on the flip side of that, I'm 39 and I've had an unbelievable life. I've been so blessed to have been involved in so many different situations, and now when I'm moving on to football management, I believe it'll held me in such good stead.
Yeah.
because I've been through so many bad times, so many difficult times, messed up so many times, had so many high moments.
Yeah.
There's not too many things that I've not experienced, and I definitely think one of the best parts of my management is dealing with people.
Yeah. My dad always used to say to me, he'd say if you don't have to be perfect. You don't if you don't make any mistakes, how then can you improve and teach your kids when they're making mistakes? You know what I mean? Like, some people are so driven into, oh, you can't make this mistake, you can't do that. Well, it's the only way we learn.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's the only way you become a better person, by thinking, fucking hell, I shouldn't have done that, and these are the reasons why, and then you change it in the future. Yeah. So, I think mistakes are just as important as the things you do well. Especially when you can come through them. You can come through them and they don't damage you too much, mentally more than anything. I mean, it took me a lot of years to forgive myself for what I did. Because once I look back through my career, you mentioned every manager that I ever managed, and I hated them all. They were all in my eyes. If you ask me, what's he like? Wanker. What's he like? Wanker. Go through them all, and then at the end, was there not one where, like, even now you look back and you think, actually, I can learn a lot of him. He was a good manager. Or Russell Slade was probably the only one, because he was my youth team manager and he was my manager at Grimsby as well, that I got on with. The rest of them, I couldn't get on, because at that point I'm looking at them thinking, like, what? I don't get this guy, but I don't know how the hell you could have managed me. Yeah. I got no idea. And as a manager now myself, I understand it a little bit more. They've got 20 people to worry about. They can't be spending the whole day dealing with situations that I'm causing. One person, so. Is there any player which you look through your career? Obviously, you obviously admit that you was an absolute nightmare. Is there anyone who you look back and go, he was on par with me, or he was up there, like Leon Knight? My problem was I'd take it to extremes. Whenever we went out, there was loads of mad people, but then they wouldn't go out again for a few more weeks, whereas I'd still be out. Yeah. That was kind of my thing. I took things to extreme, but there's loads of nutters around. I've done that before. Yeah. You have a mad night on a Saturday, and then everyone has a good night and goes home, but I'm still carrying on Sunday. Yeah. And then Sunday night I'm in bed thinking, shit. I've never been like that, mate. Yeah. Never been like that. Yeah, no. You're the one that goes home after a day. Yeah. Well, not yet. Or I know this is going to sound rubbish, but I'd get up on a Sunday, feel guilty that I'd been out and go on a run. Yeah. And go to the gym. I know other people used to do that. Yeah, yeah. Nick Montgomery used to do that. He used to be running the next day. Yeah. When I was in digs, be running up and down the stairs and doing press ups and all that lot. And I'd be going out, and he'd be saying, you can't be going out again. I'm like, listen, you need to do all that because you're fucking useless. And that's what I used to say to him. I said, you need to do... Well, that was me, yeah. I couldn't trap a medicine ball in desert. I used to say, you need to do more of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm going out, I'm going to enjoy myself. I think Monty went on and played. That's because you had so much natural ability that you probably didn't think you needed to work on it as much. Maybe. Or, like I said, I was just blasé about it. Yeah, I was just blasé. Yeah. And Monty went on to play 500 league games for Sheffield United, and I was living over in Australia, so I maybe should have been running up and down them stairs with it. But it's just it's about getting the best out of yourself, isn't it? No matter what it is, whether the best out of yourself is playing for Liverpool and England, if that's where your ability will take you, or the best out of yourself is making it in League Two and having a good long career, or the best out of yourself is playing in the Evo stick. Whatever it is, if you don't get the best out of yourself, it's very, very difficult to forgive yourself for. Yeah. And that's the thing that bugged me for years, knowing that I cheated myself, really. That's why, fortunately for me, my boxing career turned out how it turned out, because it just gave me that, I kind of feel like that proud moment again. Balance things up. The National League is set to ask the FA for £17 million lifeline to save the 68 clubs that make up the top two steps of English non-league system. Yeah, I think I said it and said, who are they going to ask for it? But obviously it's the FA. Yeah, but I don't get why is it just the top two? Like, you'd have thought that the lower clubs would be affected more. But it's a lot of money. Well, I think in terms of contracts and that, it doesn't go that low, does it? Right, okay, yeah, so a lot of people be on non-contracts, so they won't have to pay them unless they play, kind of thing. That's what I would say, yeah, but I don't, without that 17 million, I don't see how clubs are going to survive myself, but no. That's just my opinion. It's like Barnet have let go of all the non-playing staff, haven't they? Yeah.
They're not paying them, are they?
No.
They're only paying the players, so...
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and it's basically just going to affect everyone, isn't it?
But there is a story by Jack Pittbrook in The Athletic, and he obviously knows more than us two again.
Yeah.
So if you join today, you can get a 7-day free trial plus 50% off your subscription if you like the look of it. What's the website?
It's theathletic.co.uk/I had trials once.
Yeah, have a look. Cause
I'm going to have a little look at that because that's...
I need to have a look.
Yeah, you do.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think all the non-league lads who play at that kind of level need to go and read that and have a look because it'd be interesting.
Jack Pittbrook in The Athletic.
What about your team then, Gainsborough? Obviously, you've got how did you, after everything we've spoken about there, how did you find your love again then? And think, right, I want to get back into football. How did that come about?
Yeah, my eldest son really. My eldest son, who's 16 now, and he started to play for the local team, Gilbert Phoenix under 10s. I think he started playing for, and it's like, oh, Dad, take me to football. So I took him there, and I was just stood watching the game, and I loved it. And bearing in this time, I'd not watched any football at all. I hated it. Like I said, I was just more annoyed at how my own career had turned out to kind of turn my back on the game. But as soon as he started playing again, or playing in the first place, I kind of realised what football was. It's just a game that everyone loves, and slowly but surely, I knew I had so much to give in football. I kind of thought to myself, I won't mind going down this route. And with football, I kind of feel like I've got unfinished business, and that's why I want to, go and be a good manager to prove to myself really that, that I've not wasted my talent. Listen, my coming might not have never been as a player. I might think it was, but I might look back in 10 years' time thinking I was always going to be a manager. That was where I was going to excel. And I believe with the life I've lived, and my football brain and the people, I'm good with people. I think that I'm...
People you know as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and learn from. I think I'm going to be a very, very good football manager. I want to win things, I want to get promotions. And I think I'm doing it the right way, which is the long, hard way, which I think Chris Wilder's proven. I'm doing my apprenticeship, been at Tadcaster Albion where I did really well. Gainsborough Trinity now we're flying, and ultimately...
Where are you in the league?
We are 12th, but when I went we were second from bottom.
Yeah.
So we went on an unbelievable run to get us out of the trouble really.
And how did you do that? Did you bring lads in? Is it the style of football? Did you change things?
A little bit of everything. I always think that recruitment in football at any level is huge. I had when I did my coaching badges, Neil Lennon did a speech really, giving advice to any young managers, and he said the best advice I can give any manager is sign good players. And it sounds so easy, but it's true. Yeah. He said, if you sign good players, normally you'll do all right. And I think, especially at our level, it's about knowing them players that haven't been discovered yet, and you can get them cheapish. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, them £100 players become £400-500 players. And you can build your team around them, and that's what I love about non-league, because they're still out there. You've got to get out there and look.
There's still some gems out there, isn't there?
Yeah, some absolute gems, yeah, that you can get for next to nothing, and then you can mould them and develop them, and I love it.
Do you so obviously from a manager's point of view then, would it, we talked about your boxers before and training them to win fights and maybe progress. Do you see that as a good way for you to give something back to football if you can get a 16, 17, 18-year-old, bring him into Gainsborough and then move him on to a better level, maybe make him pro? Or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, for selfish reasons as a manager, you always want to keep your best players.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to keep them, but ultimately, it does give you satisfaction when you've worked with someone, you see them go on and have a great career. If you've played a small part in that, you can feel proud about what you've done. Really.
What sort of players do you look for? Because I spoke to Cleggy, who's Sheffield United manager, the other day, and he said my sort of player is not one that's got a wife, 2 kids, and a Nissan Juke, a semi-detached. Yeah, he goes for lads that are like in their overdraft, a bit like proper lads who are just gonna fucking give it their all.
Yeah.
He said like, if you've got an ISA, I ain't signing you.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He went, trust me, if they've got an ISA, there's no point signing them.
Yeah.
He said, you want lads who are just gonna go out there and they have to earn their money.
Yeah. Well, it's hunger, isn't it? You know, you go back to boxing. You know, that's why all the best fighters are Mexican. You ever been to Mexico?
Yeah, I got fuck all.
I've never been a place like it in my life. I went to Acapulco on my friend got married out there, and our hotel was unbelievable. Literally 10 yards from our hotel, you're in the middle of absolute poverty. You know, and that's why all these fighters are so good. And all the top footballers, or anyone who's successful, unless you're born into money and you go into business, they all come from the want, not the wanting to be a footballer, because we all want to be a footballer. I always say there's a big difference between wanting something and needing it. You know, when you need it, you do that little bit extra. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I agree with what he says to a certain extent. You know, you get them hungry players, especially in part-time, as a non-league part-time manager, you get them Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You got no control over what they're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday or Sunday. You want the ones that take it on their own back to say, right, I'm going to hire a strength and conditioning and someone's going to look at it, I'm going to put my extra bit in. I always tell our lads all the time, there's no such thing as being a part-time footballer. You're part-time here, but you can still live the life of a full-time pro, which means eat well, train well, put everything in, and then you've got a chance of then making this your profession.
It's slightly harder. Like, as a player, it is. I've always played non-league, and it is slightly harder than.
You got to work all day, haven't you?
Yeah, like I worked as like delivering paint for like 2 years. Yeah. Like, shite job, and all I did was drive all day. And at the time next to me I had sweets, everything. So I piled on. Before I knew it, I piled on weight. And
but that's your discipline. Somebody's not giving you them sweets. That's you buying them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying my job. I couldn't stop and have like a nice healthy dinner. I had to go get some and be gone.
No, but you could do.
Job.
You could do. This is what I'm saying. There's
because
that's an excuse.
That,
you could get up half an hour early, buy the ingredients, and make yourself a nice lunch. But it is. I suppose it's laziness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's making it easy.
Laziness is not going to work all day, then going to training. That I wasn't being lazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's not lazy as in like your attitude's lazy because you get up and go into work. It's lazy because it's difficult for you to get up half an hour early, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done, but you just don't.
Do you know what? Like I'm very harsh on players. If I was your manager and you told me that story, I wouldn't care. You know, because when I pursued my boxing career, I went bankrupt. I was bankrupt at I think 32 years of age, because I knew for me to become British champion, I couldn't afford to do another job. I needed to do this full time. And in boxing, if you don't fight, you don't get paid. So I had no money coming. So I was willing to risk absolutely everything for my dream to become the British champion, which meant me going bankrupt. But I didn't care because I wanted that more than, and I've got a wife and 3 children, so I had a family to provide for. But I wanted that more, you know. So I understand everyone's got excuses. You can do it. You have a choice to make.
Since I've stopped making excuses and started going to the gym like you told me to, I've gone up about 3 levels.
Yeah.
You've said that about 10 times now, so it must be something that I said that rang home.
Yeah, no, it was one day I think we was at Salford, but I was a bit of a mess, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was a bit fat. I was like a skinny fat kid. Like weird. I had
like no body shape, no strength, a little bit of a roll of fat.
No conditioning.
Yeah, and I said, have you ever been to the gym? Like you could be thinking like you're so much better.
But then did you watch the Notts County game the other day? When we played against Notts County, I was running rings
They're
around.
good side, them, aren't they?
I was running rings around like League 2 players, even like that. So when he said that made me just go, right, well.
Yeah. When you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you look at his body, you can't take a tablet for that. That's
dedication.
Hours and hours and hours. And like I said, I knew I wasn't good enough to be British champion if I was then going to be a personal trainer and a fighter. I had to put everything into fighting, which meant that I had to sacrifice financially, which meant I had to run up loads of bills to get to where I wanted to be. So it all depends on how much you want it. If you're willing to sacrifice absolutely everything, talk's cheap, then you got to go and do it. I got served with bankruptcy papers at weighing.
Did you?
Yeah, because I got a tax bill. I didn't pay any of my tax when I was fighting, so I was self-employed. and I couldn't afford to pay the tax as well. I needed to live, so I just didn't pay it. So for I had about 6 years of tax bills come up. I think I got a bill for like 170 something grand. So it was like, you got to pay that within 14 days. So oh, yeah, no worries, just give us 2 minutes. I'll go to my car and grab it, like, you know what I mean?
My
So yeah, so I went bankrupt. I was in a 12-month bankruptcy, but that was I knew it was coming. You know, I knew that was going to happen because I wasn't paying any of it. But they were my choices. I could have easily got a job on top of that, but it meant that I wouldn't have reached my goal of what I wanted. So when people say to me, I did this, that just tells me you don't want it enough.
I think sometimes as well, alongside that, you can be as dedicated as you want, but deep down in your mind, you've got to know that you're good enough.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Because if you're doubting that you're not good enough to be British champ, you're not going to sacrifice that.
No.
If you're doubting that you're not quite good enough to be a professional footballer, you're not going to make them sacrifices. So you've got to have that inner confidence in your head to go, do you know what? I am good enough, and I am going to sacrifice because I know I'm going to make it.
Yeah, but then turn that around on the flip side. If I'd have, I mean, I was no given to be British champion. I was miles off it. But if I gave everything, I could look back at the end of it and think, I gave everything.
Yeah.
I can't do that in my football career. I didn't give anywhere near anything. I probably give 15% on tops. You know, my boxing career, I wanted to come out of it all, finish knowing I gave it all. I wasn't good enough. I can handle that. But I gave it everything. I reached the goal that I wanted to reach, which makes me mega proud of it.
See, if someone had said to you before you signed, like or you had a fight in a week or so, and someone said at Rangers, like, let's go out and celebrate, what would you have done?
What, when I was in boxing mode? Yeah, no way. But people wouldn't have even. But you know what? I wasn't surrounding myself with that same people either. You know, like I said earlier, you become your environment at times, and I wasn't around them people anymore. It's amazing once you stop playing football and you haven't got as much money as you have, how many friends kind of drop off. It's mad, they all disappear. But I'm not. I wasn't. I'm a different person once I'm in that boxing mode. You know, I'm a family man. I've got my kids, my wife. I'm dedicated. Like I said, I've already pissed one career away. I'm not willing to do it again. Yeah.
So how do you see your management career going now? What's your
plans?
Do you?
I think
aspirations.
I think I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah.
I really think I am. Yeah, I've done all my coaching badges, which I think are a myth, to be honest.
I've done it.
You're just ticking a box, aren't you?
Just ticking a box, and it's mad really, because managing and coaching are two completely separate things. But to be a manager, you need your coaching badges, which is bonk. Like I said, Neil Warnock, I wouldn't let him coach my Caleb's under-8s team. He'd make a right pig's ear of it. I'd let him manage them though. I wouldn't let him coach them. You know, so I've done my badges, and I've already been managing on and off for 9 years. I'm only 39, so I'm very experienced. Doing a good job at Great Gainsborough, but my next job after Gainsborough Trinity, hopefully getting promoted and, you know, make a bit of a splash, is I want to manage in the Football League or a full-time environment.
Club.
Yeah, and I believe once I do that, I think I'll go to that next level again, because I'll be able to mould the club how I want it to be. So I'm ambitious. Yeah, good. Absolutely.
You got to be, ain't you?
Yeah.
Like you just said, if you don't believe you're gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you got to live it as well. You know, you got to live it. You know, I'm a part-time manager, but it's not a part-time job for me. I'm trying to tap you up now between intervals. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to sign players. So, you know, you got to live it, and I put 100% in. So wherever I get to in football management will be how good I am. It won't be through lack of effort or I've cut corners, you know. So it'll be what it'll be. But yeah, I want to have a successful career in the Football League.
As a manager,
your three types of income are your gym, football, and your after dinner.
Yeah,
and they're all off the cards at the minute.
Yeah, they've all gone. So yeah, it's obviously difficult financial times for everybody, and no one really knows when it's gonna end, do they? So we're all a little bit in limbo. But I was saying to my wife on the way over here, just kind of shows how vulnerable we all are. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, what you've got in the bank. You know, when something like this happens, people's health's on the line. We're all vulnerable. So I mean, who knows? Who cares? You know what I mean? I've been in situations before when I've had ridiculous amounts of money. I've been in situations where I've had none. It doesn't really affect me either way, really.
Yeah.
You're not a money oriented.
Never have been. No.
I don't see myself as one.
No. Pay my bills. We take the missus out.
Yeah.
Every now that'll do me. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. I think when you've experienced having loads of money and you've been unhappy, and you've had no money and you've been happy, that's how you differentiate it, isn't it?
The most money I've ever earned was at Birmingham City. I was on ridiculous amounts of dough. It was the worst time of my professional career. So, and the best time was when I was fighting, when I was boxing, aiming to. What it is with me is I need to aim for something. Yeah. I'm not great once I get there. Once I get to the destination, what else? There's something else to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when I was fighting, I was aiming to do something for 10 years. If I look at my income over 10 years as a professional boxer, oh my God, it'd have been like less than minimum wage. You know what I mean? Absolute peanuts to get there. But I was aiming for something, so it kept me stimulated.
I think I was going to put something on my Twitter this morning. I was driving in, and I'm a person who I have to have like a routine. Yeah. So I'm pretty same. I've got to be like focused, even if it's focused to getting jobs done during the week. Yeah. Or making sure I go to the gym 4 times a week or whatever. At the minute, when we're all not allowed to go out, we can't go to the gym. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's weird, yeah. So everyone's so negative by saying, we have to stay in, we have to do this. And I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you what, flip it on your head and think, right, use this time to communicate with your family again. Sit down and play board games with your kids.
Monopoly.
Yeah, learn
board games.
Learn a musical instrument. Read some really good books. So in a month's time or 2 months' time, when you have to go back to your mundane job every single, working in a factory or whatever you're doing that you moan about all the rest of the year.
You made them connections, haven't you?
Yeah, use this time to actually spend a bit of quality time with your family and like I say,
sometimes life gets in the way, doesn't it? Life
does,
because you're here, there, and everywhere sometimes, and you
use
forget.
it as a positive to say that I'm gonna have a good 6 week off, and then like I say, I'm learning an instrument, or
because you forget sometimes what actually means the most to you is your little family, isn't it? Yeah. All that stuff outside of it is all external stuff, and you're only doing all of that to support that.
Why do you work? To feed your family, to have an house and go on holidays with your family. Yeah. So you've got a bit of time off now, instead
of 2 weeks or fucking hell. Yeah. It's a bit much.
Yeah, let's have this conversation in 4 weeks' time where the Monopoly board's been ripped in half.
Don't get me wrong, I've got a 12-week-old and a 2-year-old at home. It's an absolute nightmare. I'm at my mum's sleeping on the settee because we're having our house extension done, so we can't I'm
going to use the time myself to get back in shape. Like you said, I've got my own gym, so I'm going to go and train because sometimes I don't have time to train. I have got time. I'm making excuses like we spoke about. I can't be asked. But now I've got nothing else to do, so I'm going to get in for 6 weeks and get rid of some weight and be a bit healthier.
That's what I'm going to do before and after.
See how
that goes.
Well, we saw one of your before pictures on the internet. Oh my God.
I'm nearly creeping back there now. That's why I've got a black tracksuit on. It sucks it all in.
What happened there?
Life happened. Then what happened there? Retirement. That's what happened.
Is that what it was?
I stopped fighting. I had a couple of years off. Turned into fucking Sherman Clump.
Sherman.
Oh, brilliant. So how have you found it anyway? This is obviously your first one.
Yeah.
First podcast. Oh, breaking news.
Happened?
English football season suspended until at least April 30th, but FA announces 2019-20 season will be extended indefinitely if need be.
What's playing in the summer?
So I'll explain that.
It done.
Well, I'll have to explain this in English to
I know what's going on.
You're just thinking how long am I getting paid for? That's what you're thinking.
But it's a good point. Like, say the season has to be extended to August, September. What happens about
contracts?
Your contract finishes the football on the 30th of June. Mm-hmm. So what happens if you're out of contract? That's got to be extended. Yeah. What happens? Transfer window.
See, what happens? You called me thick. I signed a 2-year deal last year. So don't worry about me.
That's not because you knew the coronavirus was
coming. Yeah. So I mean, no one knows what's happening. It's never happened before.
It's just like I dropped my little girl off at school. I spoke to a teacher and I said, obviously it says 2 weeks off because I think there's 2 weeks. Then you've got the Easter holidays, which are 2 weeks. And then, so there's a month that they're definitely going to be off. And she went, we're talking about September. Kids coming back in September. Which is...
long time,
It's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting back to footy though, like, I'm worried for the non-league clubs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they can't
absolutely.
afford to pay the players.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, luckily, I've got a contract, but they can't really afford to.
Well,
pay.
you know what? That contract that you've got,
Yeah.
it's null and void if someone can't afford to pay you it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's
Do you know
what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm on a contract at Gainsborough. I signed a 2.5 year deal there, but I couldn't expect my chairman to pay me if he hadn't got the money.
No, that was a joke there.
You know
before
what I mean?
that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a mercenary, which we've obviously just found out.
That's why you're not signing
You
it.
want your money regardless.
No, that's the thing. A lot of non-league clubs and even professional clubs at lower level live month by month, week by week with the gate receipts to think,
100%.
right, we've got March, April gate receipts coming in. That's going to bring in so much money and that can pay out this much money. If that gets lost and then it gets, even if it gets extended into next season, you're then missing, are you missing all your pre-season friendlies with the big clubs that you have organised?
And also on the top of that, everyone's the same. When you know you've got that coming in, you spend that already.
Yeah.
So clubs will have spent that, and now that's not coming. All of a sudden, it's like
There's a deficit.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
We're lucky because we got to the second round of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
We got a big tie. So we made some money.
What was it, Kipper tie?
What?
What kind of tie was
Big
it?
long one. No, so I think our club's pretty
Yeah, you're
safe,
right.
but that doesn't mean other clubs are. So who are we going to play against?
And it's
So
what do we do when if they come back and say, well, we will extend the season, but just to make sure that there's not like a second wave of all these viruses, we'll play them all behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So then, how much money are the clubs losing out for spectators not coming and the revenue? So are the FA then going to?
And also, what about this one?
Subsidise
Then?
that?
So we're in football, so we all understand, what players can be like. As a player, you're a selfish person. You're looking after yourself.
Yeah.
So what about? So in some positions, some managers will have players that a club's put a bid in for. The club said no, we don't want to sell you. But now the club is not fulfilling that player's contract. So that player might say, well, I'm going on a free then.
Yeah.
You're not sustaining my contract. You're not fulfilling the agreement. I want to leave. Then what happens?
What about this one? Because we're in March and you know it. Professional clubs, a player who's not re-signed for next season, who's out of contract, knows 30th of June, he spoke with the manager, we're not keeping you on next season, find yourself another club. 30th of June comes, he's not gonna say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll stay with you for a few months until we see out the season.
Yeah. What if he breaks his leg?
I'm gonna.
What?
So what do you do then? It's a massive
Yeah, it is.
Well, I just had a text saying that the National League have asked for 17 million to support clubs, which is about
Just your wages, that, isn't it?
250k a club. I don't know who they're asking for it.
That's it. It can only come from one person. It's got to come from
The FA, innit?
yeah, or the
PFA or whatever. I don't know where would it come from. The FA have got loads of money, don't they?
Well,
Loads, haven't they?
Have they?
I don't know.
You'd think so, but it's like the Premier League. I think the Premier League are going to have to substitute the lower clubs. But then, like you say, how much do you do? How much do you?
These Premier League clubs aren't getting paid, aren't getting any dough at the minute.
Yeah.
And they've got to pay 250k a week.
I tell you what, I thought about this, and this is my scenario, which I think if anyone's listening, they want to agree or disagree. This is a good one. This is a good one, right? They reckon that the young, the fit, the people without any underlying problems, if they get the virus,
We're fine.
We're fine. All right. So as a football club, as footballers, you go into training, you get tested, or if you have any kind of symptoms, you stay away. But for everyone else who's fine, you go into the football club, you train as normal, you go home and you self-isolate in your house with your family. You don't go to any vulnerable people, you don't visit your old folks, you stay in your own house.
I ain't going to see them now.
Do that every day. Do that every day so you're not actually contact with any other people apart from the lads in training, people in your own house.
Yeah.
Come to the fixture on the Saturday. The opposition would have done exactly the same.
Yeah.
Play it behind closed doors so you're not infecting anybody else.
Yeah.
And then you do that. Every club just does that until you see out the season. Saturday, Tuesday. We'll get it done in 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then season's done.
Yeah.
You're then finishing in June, July, and the only people that you're staying away from is the vulnerable.
Yeah.
If people in football get it, like him at Chelsea who got it, Callum Hudson-Odoi, you're going to be cold flu-like for maybe a week or so.
That's what he said.
But you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to really affect you. So
You need every club to agree to that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And some might not. Some might think, we might go down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to look after their own little thing, don't they? It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Surely, though, the powers above you do a ruling, don't you?
Yeah, they've got to make the decision.
You've got to make a decision and say, look, you abide by our rules, or like...
Some things are working out better for others than it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
isn't it?
you can't keep everybody happy. But surely that's a way where you isolate footballers. They go home. The only people they're in contact with are people in their own home, and that's day in, day out. So you don't, even to a point where you turn up at the training ground in your kit, get off onto the field, you train, you're back in your own car, you go home. There's no canteen, there's no swapping of food, there's no showers. Just do that, and then you're not coming straight off the training pitch and going into a nursing home. And going walking around, and you're keeping away from all them kind of people. Surely that's a way.
Or they could open the games up to 40 and under, 35 and under.
Yeah, they're not vulnerable, but you can't.
But even then though,
people are going to be catching it.
Yeah, but then even though you've got to make sure that them 40,000 people are making sure that they're not
right.
It's so shit, isn't it?
It's I don't know what could happen. Do you know what I mean?
We'll do a coronavirus special.
For me, as a Man United fan, I'd just say null and void the season.
It's been null and void for you lot for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I went to go watch them the other week.
Make sure Liverpool don't win it.
Yeah, I went to watch Man U and Burnley the other week. My two boys are big Man United fans.
Right.
Yeah, so I went to that game.
Was that the 1-0 Burnley?
3-0, wasn't it?
No, 3-0.
No, Watford. Sorry, Watford.
Oh, right.
Watford.
Okay,
Yeah, 3-0. Yeah. Fernandes scored. Bruno, didn't he?
Oh yeah, they were good actually.
They're looking alright.
Looking alright. He's a good
player. Could have been 2 down though, Man U could have been 2 down in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks alright.
So who's your team?
Well, I was born 1980, so my first love was Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool. John Barnes, my hero.
Glory unto them, weren't you?
Yeah, glory unto them. My dad was a big Leeds United fan.
Right.
But yeah, I was always Liverpool growing up. And then when I went to Sheffield United, they're the team that I started supporting really.
How big John Barnes fan are you?
Huge.
Do you know the rap?
Yeah, you can.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you want to do a collaboration?
We're doing it. What?
Go on. I'll start you off. Jordan, you start with it. 3, 2,
You start me off.
We need the beat, don't we?
Yeah.
What's the beat?
You got to hold and
give and do it at the right
Go,
time.
go, go.
It can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line.
They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back.
Yeah.
You can, because I'm in England.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well,
Class.
I think we should finish on that.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to you. It's been brilliant, and just...
It was more boxing than football, but that's what I liked.
Yeah, but the thing that I reckon people, especially people who knew you as a footballer, either as a teammate, an opposition, a manager, coach, I bet listening to you, they would never know the man that you've grown into from that kid who you were as a footballer, because obviously you sounded pretty petulant and rebellious and stuff like that. How you've spoke now when you've come in, it's a million miles apart, and like you said, you made them mistakes now, it's turned you into the man you are now, and surely going forward that'll help you guide and do well in your career. Yeah,
I feel like I've changed as a human being, but I think if you're the same person at 40 that you are at 17, you've probably wasted a big chunk of your life. And I feel like, and I just feel like that we all have a certain progression in life.
Yeah.
Just so happened I had to kind of make my mistakes in such a public way and in such a big industry, really. But it is what it is.
But the achievements that you've done in football, which was amazing, but I think the bigger achievement is getting them dark times and coming out of it, and not, like you say, there is always a bit of luck, but with every bit of luck, you've obviously had to have the mindset to go down that road. It's so easy to go, do you know what, I'm not going to train, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go off with my mates and I'm going to go. But you didn't. You made that choice to go into a boxing gym.
The biggest thing I did was I didn't give up on myself.
I like the sacrifices that you made.
Yeah.
Just like, tax bill, fuck it, bankrupt me. Yeah. I'm a boxer.
Yeah. I had to do that.
I'm going to make it.
Yeah. And like I say, it's about not giving up on yourself. Because you can do it so easy, like you said, to think, you know what, this isn't happening. I'm miles away from where I want to be, but if you don't believe you're going to get there, then you quit easily. Yeah. You know, and unfortunately, I didn't give up on myself, and I'm in a good place now.
Yeah, no, mate, it's been amazing.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on,
guys.
Thank
you very much. Thank you. Curtis Woodhouse.